Every once in a while, you'll come across that new tip about how to save money and go, oh, why didn't I think of that? I wanted to gather a few things in this video, 8 tips in particular, that are maybe less heard of. Perhaps you've heard of them, perhaps you haven't, but maybe you can add them to your arsenal. If we can take these tips and others like them, saving money is a continual process. So if we take those tips and we can apply it to what we know, we can have a positive impact on our finances. We're going to talk about 8 tips today in this video, and hopefully you can add them to your list. Before we get started on that though, I want to ask, is there any tip, anything that you maybe think is a little off the beaten path, something unique that you do to save money? If there is, put it down in the comments below. That way others can read it and help build their collection of great money saving tips. Number 1, before you serve yourself dinner, you've got your plate there, you're ready to scoop it all in and get ready to go enjoy the meal that you've been cooking. Don't do it yet. Go ahead first and get your leftover containers out. Portion the meals out that you intended to make. Perhaps there's 4 of you and you made 6 servings and you got 2 extra servings. Go ahead and portion out those servings before anybody fills their plate. This does 2 things. It ensures that you get the intention of those leftovers, you have those prepared for the week, and second, it helps for portion control. We all know those times when meals are just so delicious. You know you are completely stuffed, and if you put another bit in your mouth, you're going to be a couch potato for the rest of the night. If there's none left and you've all had your portions, there it is. You realize once the food hits your stomach, you know, I actually am full. I'm glad I didn't eat that extra serving of mac and cheese. So tip number 1 is to, before you actually eat your dinner or put your servings on your plate, portion out your servings in the leftover container and put those away first. Number 2, I want to start with a question. Have you ever heard of those banks that offer the save the change deals, where you go and you make a purchase, say with your debit card, perhaps it's $4.85, and they round it up. They take that 15 cents and they put it in your savings account. That way it starts to build up savings over time. Well, you don't need that. You can take that same idea and put it in place in your budget. All this involves is rounding up. So you should have a budget. You should be tracking your expenses, especially if you're watching this channel and you're looking for new money saving ideas. Those are number 1 and number 2 on the top hierarchy pillar of smart things to do. Then when you actually go and you make a purchase, for me, I have an app in my phone where I keep my purchases. I plug in the number and the budget category it goes to. I round up. So for instance, I was at the grocery store earlier. I go to 2 grocery stores on my trips that are across the street from each other. One was, I think, $66 and some odd cents. I plugged in that I spent $67. The other one was, I think, somewhere around in the $80 range. I, again, rounded up. This does a couple of things. Now, if you're using cash, you're going to come home with change, right? That change, just assume you're still going to write it in your budget. Even if you paid $5 in cash and you got 15 cents back, still put it in your transaction budget that you spent $5, take that 15 cents and put it in your change jar. What it does if you use a bank account or debit card is it will pile up money in your account. So that 15 cents, that 40 cents, etc. over time starts to build. And what it does for your bank account is creates a larger cushion. I love having a cushion in a checking account because if something happens, a bill comes due, that yearly subscription that only renews once a year, you completely forgot about it, i.e. Amazon Prime, you know that there's money in that account. So the bigger you can build that cushion up, the better. And I like to have a nice little cushion. So the idea of rounding up on your budget allows you to continually build on that. And you will end up with a nice pile of extra money. Number 3, wait just a minute, hear me out before you, she didn't say that. All right, I'm gonna say it. Have convenience foods readily available at home. She said it. For all the people who know that I'm a big advocate for also cooking from scratch and living in the ways and thoughts of our grandmas and using what we have. Yes, having some convenience foods actually is smart. Why is that? Well, here's the thing. If you are going, and you are a regular person and busy and things just get to you and you're tired and you come home and you're craving something and you just don't feel like making that dinner. We all feel like that at some point. Having those convenience foods, somebody's running late, something happens and there's a last minute doctor's appointment, that is the best thing to have because it's those backup items. Now, it could be anything for you. It could be a quick boxed meal. It could be chicken nuggets. For my daughter, we keep these little, yes, I do buy these because it's convenient and healthy for her. The little packets of peas or carrots or green beans that you can just plug in, put in the microwave and heat up really quickly, and she has a nice vegetable to go along with whatever. Those types of things that are yummy and filling and quick for when those things, those parts of life that come up inevitably do happen. That keeps you from going through that drive-through, from hitting up that drive-through on the way home, or from having that pizza delivered. Yes, they're not as healthy for you, certainly, but in the hierarchy of healthy, you've got, scratch cooking, which isn't always, depending upon what you put in it, your convenience foods at home, and eating out, takeout, especially drive-through. You're going to be better off if you have a few convenience items at home. You don't have to have a ton, just enough for those instances when it does happen. Number 4, there are more important things when it comes to buying frugally than price. Oh, what? She said, what are the things I'm saying? Hear me out on this. When looking at an item, the price, especially in today's mass market of tons of stuff at really low, cheap prices, the price doesn't mean it's the best buy. That doesn't mean it is the best cost per use, meaning how long is it going to last. There's several things. So look here at durability, the quality of that item. You've heard of, when people say things on maybe even social media, and you may have heard, well, that didn't age well. Meaning what they said, their assumption at the time, when in hindsight, looking back on it 6 months to a year, you go, yeah, they probably shouldn't have put that in writing. That's, what they thought then didn't turn out to be true. Same thing with buying something just because it's the price. Does it age well? Does the thing you're buying age well? Is it a low cost per use? And if you aren't familiar with cost per use, let's just use a random t-shirt. Let's assume a t-shirt is $20, but you only get 10 uses. That's a $2 cost per use. But let's assume a t-shirt is $60. I know, pretty pricey, but you get even 60 uses out of it. That's $1 per use versus $2 per use. So that is what I'm talking about here. And in this tip, just understanding that durability, quality, how does it age are going to trump price in a lot of instances, because you need to look at it as it is in the future and how long it's going to last you. Number 5 is going to slightly contradict the other one about convenience foods, but hey, I still like to go to restaurants. There's nothing wrong with that. If you do it on a certain amount of scale, you have it in your budget and you're not going overboard and you want to enjoy a restaurant meal. What I recommend, because it's actually factual, I'm not exactly sure when they're measuring from. I know it's been many decades, but over X amount of decades, I can't remember the fact, I do know that they stated that portions in a restaurant have gone up 400% from where they were decades and decades ago, whatever that date was, sometime in the 1900s, late 1900s, right? It's weird to think of 1900s as, so far gone. Anyway, aging myself here. But when you go to that restaurant and you're ordering your food, as soon as it comes, ask for a takeout box. This is almost the same as number 1, where you're packing away your leftovers before you eat. Go ahead and put some leftovers in that box, because if you know you're definitely not going to eat it, you don't want to have things moved around. Maybe go ahead and portion off pieces of it. And if you're still hungry, you can dig back in. But if not, you've got them, they're all still together, portioned off. You don't have this sauce that tripped over onto this thing, etc. And you've put them away. You've got your to-go box, so take it with you when you go. Number 6, I am big. This is big for me when I'm shopping online, which more and more I can't find things out in the marketplace anymore and have to go and find, or not even a good deal, might be the better way to say it. Can't find a good deal and need to shop online. But I am a huge advocate searching, finding a coupon code, a discount, etc. I will look for. I will often put something in a cart, sign up with my email, and abandon the cart because sometimes, more often than not, I'll get an email saying, hey, you left something behind. Here's a 20% discount. What I'm stating is, as soon as you make that purchase, as soon as you've gotten that discount, immediately go in and remove yourself from that email list. It might be the next hour, the next day, you're going to get another email from them with another special. Automatically go in there and unsubscribe every single time. You might order from someplace extremely frequently. Well, each time go in there, put your email in, get a coupon code, and go back and unsubscribe. That way you don't have that constant infiltration of marketing that's aimed to get you with these sales, especially this time of year that's coming up. Number 7, when you're aiming to add things to your wardrobe, clothes or other wardrobe items, one thing that I found that really helped me out, and I was actually talking to someone earlier in the week, and they said they finally started focusing on the colors that fit them, the colors that looked best with their skin tone. In their case, it was pastels. In my case, jewel tones usually look the best for me. However, that I don't limit myself to just jewel tones. But either way, when you're building your wardrobe or you're adding a piece, keep in mind to try to make sure it's two things, neutral and easy to mix. And when I say neutral, I don't mean black, white, beige, gray, navy blue. That's not what I mean. I mean neutral to your color palette, to the color palette you deemed you prefer, that you zone in on, and to the style that you have. I'll give you an example. Probably earlier in the summer, I found a beautiful blazer out. I think it was at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, one or the other, and it was this beautiful sage green color. Well, I immediately said, oh, this is really nice, but my eyes zoned in, or my mind zoned in on my closet. What do I have in my closet? How will this mix? How will this blend? Can I think of a few shirts or that I could put underneath it immediately that it would work with? And I remembered I had this slightly green, pink, and yellow floral top. I have another top that has more of that sagey green, pink, and I think light blue in it. And then I knew it could also mix really well with khakis and a white t-shirt, or with an all black underneath outfit, a black shell or t-shirt, and then a black pants with that green blazer on top. So I knew immediately this was a good buy because I had been looking for blazers to try to elevate my work wardrobe. It was a great price, and I offhand immediately knew there was 4 or 5 outfits I could plug it into in my wardrobe. Now, when you look at my wardrobe, there's one occasional red turtleneck sweater that I have, and you look at my, what I wear. I don't wear a lot of warm tones. I don't wear oranges or reds or yellows, but I have this one red that aims more towards that cool tone that I love. But hey, it doesn't go with anything other than black pants or a pair of jeans. But that's okay because that's more of a special occasion. I'll wear it throughout the holiday season, Valentine's, Christmas, etc. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's just something to think about when you are adding those things to your wardrobe, that you're not going to end up going home and go, I really like this in the store, but what in the world am I going to wear this with? And then ending up having to go back out and adding more things just so you can wear that one item. And number 8, anytime you are watching these videos or any other videos and you come across these great ideas, you need to reinforce them. Keep a list. I love my Google Notes app. I love all of my lists that I keep in my Google Notes app. One day, if you want to hear about all of those, I can make a video strictly on all of the sections in my Google Notes app about everything in particular that helps me out in life that I keep track of and how beneficial it is. If you are interested in that, please let me know in the comments down below. But take a Google Notes app, and as you would with any tips or any ways to help improve XYZ, write down any of these tips that really impact you that you think would be great for you, because hey, not everything here is going to work for you or the next person, but take what does, write it down. By writing it down, it also, the actual act of either typing it out or writing it down helps reinforce it as well. And every so often when you're looking and you're like, oh gosh, I keep spending this money, pull that list back out, read it again, and over time it will start to ingrain itself to you, and you will start to be the person that not only knows those tips, but starts to look for other ways to save and help other people with those tips as well. As I said at the beginning of this video, saving money is a continuous effort. Watching these videos helps to keep it at the top of your mind as well. And the more we can do that, the better we can be, the more positive of a reaction or an impact we can have on our finances. If you enjoyed this video, it helps my channel out if you click on that little like button down below. Also, hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. You just have to be signed into YouTube with your email address. It doesn't spam you with anything. Unless you hit the notification bell, you won't even know I uploaded. But what I love about my subscription pages is I can tailor it to the people who create videos that I want to see. And when I want to see a new video or have a little bit of extra time, I'll go into my YouTube page and I'll click on the tab that says subscriber or subscribe to. Subscriptions was actually what it's called. And that way I can see the latest videos from the people who I like to engage and hear from. So that is what that does. So if you're interested, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video.